Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Capital Improvement Committee meeting, Capital Improvement Committee meeting at 2:12 PM on Wednesday, October 30th at 2024. On our agenda, we're going to review capital requests. We have both fire and EMS and the school department here. Fire and EMS is up first. Would you like to join us?
Just move over a seat.
Yeah, come over here. Whatever not.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having us.
Yep, thanks for coming in.
Welcome. So if you're good, Mr. Chairman, I'll start right up.
Yep.
Okay.
All right with it.
All right. So the first item we'd like to get replaced is our engine 2, which is a 2001 International tanker truck, holds 2,500 gallons of water. The current model is a 2001. It's 23 years old. It has 19,000 miles on it. Truck has served us well. It's getting at the end of its useful life. This truck, the starting to show is the age. We just had the pump tested. There's some valves and what have you that needs replacing on the truck. The metal straps that hold the tank down are starting to become corroded. But again, the truck has served us well. This is our only structural tanker that follows our engines and ladders to any fires out of the hydrant district, which is
Most of them.
most of them in town, unfortunately, unless you're in the downtown area. Very important part of our firefighting operation. The new truck would be a 3,000-gallon tanker. What we're looking to get is another commercial cab. It's less expensive than the commercial cabs, the fancier trucks. We're just looking to get, 3,000 gallons of water on wheels to back up our 2 engines and ladder truck at any, and brush equipment at any fires. The cost is $600,000. The truck is around $500,000, and then we would outfit it with new hose and what have you, just to replace the current 23-year-old truck that we have and all the equipment. Part of this would be funded by the special account that was set up. I'm not quite sure on what the balance is in that account, but
I believe there's 200,000 in there, so there'll be 300 as of July
Okay.
1st if the capital plan stays as is.
okay, so, and that's the gist of the engine 2 replacement. It's a tanker, 3,000 gallons. The current truck has served us well. It's coming to the end of its useful life.
Yeah.
Do you want me to
Yep, no, keep going.
look to the next thing, or do you want me to have for
Yeah,
questions?
anybody have any
or-
questions on that truck?
If you ordered that today or the day after, the day the money's available, how long?
This truck is within 2 months, believe it or
So
not.
it's not, you're not in the same for all madams into where,
Not with this truck. The
Ambulance is another story.
the ambulances and what have you, or other stories are correct, but this truck, one particular vendor gets 2 in a month. So he's ordered them, and he's selling them as fast as.
Yeah, they're pretty simplified
But,
trucks.
exactly, so it's not a custom-built truck per se as some of the engines and ladders.
is there a year of life left in the truck you have?
Yeah, there can be, sure, but I just don't want to have it run into the ground, broke down, and then we're out of a tanker, so, and I think we'll get some trade-in money, probably not a lot, considering, but,
And consistent with the special stabilization account that we put in, we're trying to create that 5-year rotation on trucks.
Please.
They have a 17, they have a 22, so this could potentially be a 27. So we're starting to get there. Our biggest challenge is that ladder truck. We'll figure that out when we get to it, I guess. But that's the goal, is to try to get into this rotation. So if we're within a year or so of that, we're getting closer to it. Somebody educated me very well on NFPA 1901, so I know the useful life of a vehicle now.
That was my predecessor.
Anybody else have anything on the truck for Kelly or John? go on to the next one, Joe.
Okay. So next, we're looking to replace our ambulance one, which is a 2018 Ford diesel engine, which we're starting to have problems with. We spent like $9,000 a year ago. There's a DEF system. We have to get away from those trucks. They haven't figured them out yet, and I don't know that they're going to. So this truck currently has 82,000 miles on it. It has the diesel engine. It's been a great truck. The Medix truck has been, I can't say anything about the Medix truck itself, except for the engine. We're starting, we just went through some sensor issues again with it, so, and these trucks are 30 months out. So by the time we would get a new truck, this truck will be over 9 years old. We currently have 82,000, so we'll be up at least over 100. In a frontline ambulance, it's just not a great idea to go much longer than that. So it's a 30-month turnaround. This truck will be 9 years old, and this will be funded by ambulance receipts.
I always have questions.
That's all right.
Now, I noticed you're looking for the Lucas devices and cardiac monitors, but when you purchase the ambulances, you purchase them fully outfitted.
Well, those are on capital as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's our goal.
So this would include that equipment for this ambulance?
No.
No, that will be purchased, our goal is to purchase it separate this year and
Yeah.
put it on the other truck as well, and then we'll have everything bought at the same time. It'll just be transferred into the truck.
We've never purchased fully outfitted before.
And then the second question is, going from diesel to gas, is there operational savings or cost associated with that, or is it just hopefully washed out?
I would say it's probably going to be a wash, to be honest,
Biggest thing will be dependability.
Reliability.
Yeah, the fuel mileage probably a little bit less with the gas, but it's worth it in the long run for the repairs at this stage when they get this old.
Repairs are less, and that DEF fluid's been problematic for you.
Correct.
We just had a $10,000
Yes,
bill.
you're right.
Even more.
And I know from leaving the DPW, we had two of those diesels over there. I could not wait to trade those two trucks in and get the two gas jobs that we have now over there, the F-550s.
If you pay attention to special warrant, we have a Lucas device on there.
Yeah.
They had a lot of struggles trying to get the second one up and running, and they got a Band-Aid on it for now, so we're going to replace one just to make sure they have reliable equipment.
So anything else on the ambulance for anyone?
Anybody have anything on the ambulance? No? You good, Ally?
Yep.
Next.
All right, I'll let the deputy chief speak on the Lucas and the light packs.
Yep.
So our current cardiac monitors are about 7 years old. They were purchased at the beginning of fiscal year 18, so July 1st, 2017. They have a lifespan of about 8 years. There are currently 4 different versions of this device kind of under the same hood. So looking at the monitor, you can't tell what version it is. They still sell version 4. We have version 2. Versions 1 and 2 have trouble getting parts, particularly because those versions contained lead. So if something breaks on these, depending on what part of the monitor breaks, we may be out of luck with a repair. And if it was to break and be out of service, the ambulance that it was assigned to would have to drop to the basic life support level of care. So that's the concern with continuing to run the older version of this unit. And for those at home, these monitors have a lot of different functions. When somebody's sick or injured, oftentimes we find an abnormality pertaining to their heart rhythm. And we can monitor and treat many of these issues right in the ambulance. But the device also has some other functions. We can monitor heart rate, blood pressure, blood oxygen saturation, and even the amount of carbon dioxide that a patient is exhaling, which is important when we've placed an advanced airway or a breathing tube. So like when I mentioned, there's a lot of different parts and pieces to this device. One of those functions could break, and while the device might be in service, we would be kind of out of the water in a bad position depending on what part of that machine broke. I think the biggest takeaway with not having it in service for like the end user here in town is one of the most common calls that we get is chest pain, abdominal pain, back pain, nausea, vomiting. And when we see somebody with those symptoms, we're concerned that they might be having a heart attack, and we do an EKG to check. And we can do that right in your living room or wherever you are. There's only certain hospitals that can treat a heart attack, and making sure that we get that person to that appropriate hospital as quick as possible is important so they don't have long-term heart damage. So that's really why we want to make sure this device is always in service and always in our ambulances.
Another thing I neglected to mention was the Lucas devices in the ambulance and the cardiac monitors. If you pay attention, they're all coming out of ambulance receipts. That's not going to affect our capital budget coming out of the ambulance receipts account. So it's important to recognize that. So it's not a case of we're trying to move something around to satisfy this equipment. It's something that's self-supporting. Anybody else have any questions for Kelly on either one of those two devices?
I didn't talk about the Lucas, but you
Oh,
guys
I'm
got
sorry.
the, you
Yeah.
guys got the handout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
If you guys are good with it, I don't think anything else really needs to be said
I got
unless you
numb
have
to it
questions.
after chasing around the battery thing, so.
Yeah,
CPR,
so
get tired.
that other one is back in service, but they said there are no parts for it,
Right.
so when it
Yep.
goes, we're done, unfortunately.
Right. Nobody has anything on that. We have the floor in the meeting room.
All right, so the floor in the meeting room is original flooring from, we built the station in 2000. It's 12 by 12 square tiles. They're coming up, they're cracked, it's time to replace the floor. It looks terrible, to be
All the
honest with you.
mastics coming between the seams. I've seen the flooring. It's in
Yeah.
tough shape.
So the cost of that is $15,000. That includes doing our kitchen, hallway, the admin's office, and the meeting room. And this is a luxury vinyl tile that like they use in the hospital emergency rooms. So it's very good wearing,
Low maintenance and
low maintenance, just a mop and a bucket, and, there's no shining or what have you. It
they'll
comes
do
right
your
back.
office as well?
No, we have the new carpet in there.
Oh, you have carpet in
Yeah,
there?
yeah. So we're looking to get the flooring done. It would really make the station look a lot nicer and for the guys and girls that are there.
Well, the flooring's been on the
It's been on.
area
quite
of concern
years.
for a few years.
Yeah.
Kelly talked about that a few years ago as well.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
and that's 15,000.
Just a question, you said kitchen, hallway, and,
Admin office.
Admin's office in the meeting room.
yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions on the flooring? That's it?
That's it.
That's all you want?
Shush.
I heard him.
I didn't say you could have it, I just made a comment. Uh-oh. See? Talking about buying things, see who comes into the room.
Of course.
All right, if nobody has anything for these two, thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
everyone.
for the information.
Thank you.
If something comes up,
Any
we need
questions,
more,
just reach
we'll-
out.
We'll either ask you to come back or send you an email.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks, Kelly.
Stay safe.
Don't forget Jen's little red helmet,
I got you.
just so the administrator knows I put in a request for a helmet. Yep.
Red fire hats.
All right, so the next thing on our agenda after we get done fooling around is the school department. You guys want to come up?
I was about to say good morning, but I am about
Please.
4 hours past
Yeah.
that. So thank you so much for having us.
Yep.
In front of you, I know Courtney sent over a bulleted point of a submittal list, just quickly to highlight, then I'll have Courtney and Jeff dive into it. First thing is something we got from the MSBA about a school survey assessment that we want to bring to your attention. Next, we'll talk about some of the projects that we funded, some of the things that we've taken off, and some of the things we're going to be funding through our current operating budget. And then finally, an updated capital request, really highlighting two big things at our primary school, following a very similar theme that we saw from the fire department with things going over their life expectancy by multiple years. So I will turn it over to Courtney for the next few parts.
Yep, so just on, start with the MSBA, that's Massachusetts School Building Authority. In July, to be honest with you, happened to be on, because they didn't send anything out, like just, statewide, but I was on the MSBA website looking at some other things, and I did see they issued an RFP to do a survey, school survey assessment, and I did send you a copy of that, for buildings throughout the state, school buildings throughout the state. So, and actually, Paul and I did have a telephone call with them to get a little bit more information about that, but, I guess they do this every 10 years, which is understandable. I mean, if they're going to be funding with tax dollars, school buildings, I mean, like anybody, you would do a survey, a building survey to assess, buildings so that you can see where they all stand, prioritize, and get an idea, too, about kind of at least an estimation of, statewide, how much it would cost, and that will also drive percentage rates, I would imagine, too, for reimbursement, because they reimburse and they change those percentages, too, at different times as well. So we're happy that they're doing that.
Do you have a
And
value
they
of that? Is that a cost to the town?
No.
No?
Okay.
No, it's done by the
Yep.
state.
Okay.
State, Massachusetts School Building Authority.
Yep.
The MSBA.
And their
So-
report, sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Their
they-
final report
yeah.
will come out in December of '25.
Yeah.
So they're coming out to Douglas the week, the first day here is Tuesday, the 12th. They're spending an hour or two in each school. And their final report will come out in December of 2025, so we're still a long ways away. And then hopefully that'll drive what they might fund for projects, and hopefully some of the stuff that's on our capital list, we might be able to get at a higher reimbursement rate if we apply and we do a statement of interest. So
We don't have any,
Yeah.
I mean, as far as buildings go, we
Correct,
don't
yeah.
have anything on there, but it also might determine, because they changed their minds too, as well as, actually, that's not a great way of putting it, but they make some programmatic changes as well, like they had an accelerated repair program for a while there, and then they stopped it, and then they brought it back, and sometimes they change things.
Yeah.
Of course, it ebbs and flows because of, you're talking about an entire state of school buildings, you can imagine the cost statewide. So I can clearly understand why they have to make changes, like anybody doing anything with something that huge like that. So we're looking forward to it. They did send out a big list of items that we have to have available for them as well when they come out, in addition to them walking through every single building. So we'll see what comes of that. And I did provide you, the next bullet item on there did provide to you what we have funded past few years of things that were on the, the capital plan. We did get some funding from, the COVID funding that we had, and because of the students learning at home and everything, that we didn't have the funding, townwide or school-wide, back before COVID. I hate to say, I can't imagine coming out and saying that COVID actually had some financial benefits, because I know, oh my God. But anyway, because of that funding, we'll just say, we were able to replace, do the iPads, new ones, replacements, but that was unbelievably, it was 5 years ago, which is unbelievable. So we were able to do some things, also replacing the obsolete teachers' PCs and Mac boards. District-wide, we took care of that, because they needed those, because they were also doing teaching at home and everything, so that worked out well. And also because of the aforementioned, that I don't want to use the word of, for school lunch, certainly the funding that we received, because of, we had some additional funding coming in from the state and things, so that revolving fund built up a little bit. So we were able to take care of a bunch of things having to do with school lunch program as well. We did take care of the tractor. We did talk to you about that before, in the Bunsen burner project as well. In addition to that, we're also looking to take some other things off the list that we're looking to utilize, use school choice for, and that's also on this summary page that I
Where
gave to you.
is this? Where are you reading all of this?
Well, I send it, I'm always asked to send it to you.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lisa had gone home ill
Oh,
earlier.
oh my God, well, let me go make a copy, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't know.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I guess we all
Yeah,
need it.
yeah, right here. Yep, just, okay, thank you. Jeez, okay, send that right away. I'm happy to make a copy for you, okay?
like you're referring to this
Yeah.
list that no one
I
has.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we'll wait well, why don't, it'll only take a minute. We can
Yep.
just wait
No,
till it
that's
comes
fine.
back, yeah. So I'd rather have you actually looking, it's easier
Yeah,
to
while you're
kind of
doing
reference.
that,
Yeah.
the oil tanks, which I promised you I would help you with that when that time came, because we
Yeah, I don't-
had
I
shuffled
need
things
the old-
around.
I don't oil
I see that you have
statements.
147 now. Were you able to get
Just
actual
blank.
quotes? Any kind of estimate from
No,
anybody on
no,
that?
that was, no, so the middle school oil tank was not the priority. The primary school one
Yeah.
was, and the reason they put the middle school one on initially, again, things changed. During that time,
Mm-hmm.
okay, there was a lot of problems getting a lot of things. To be honest with you, my concern in having only a 5,000-gallon tank, that was the impetus for that
Mm-hmm.
initially, was that if we run out and I can't get a delivery, oh my God, what are we going to do? We have to shut down the schools.
Right.
So you have to remember, this is where my head was at that time. We're going back
No, I get it.
quite a few years.
I just
And I
want-
don't want to spend,
Yeah.
anybody who knows me, I don't want to spend taxpayers' money if things change just for the sake of, it's on a list, I'm not going to say anything, and we're going to spend the money. So
No,
that's
no,
when
I
I
get
did
that.
say that, too.
Yeah.
I did state
Yeah.
that, yeah. So that's why I did,
Yeah,
we
the trouble that we had
reprioritized
with
and all
With
that.
the first tank that got
Yeah.
approved before we shuffled around was, you were having difficulties trying to get somebody to actually give you some sort of idea what it was, right?
Oh, yeah, that was,
Yeah.
yeah, way back, yeah. Yeah, way back.
No, I know
then.
that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the history of why I'm asking you this question. Did you actually get some sort of idea what it cost to put in the tank, or did you just increase it by
No, I just
5%?
increased it, I did,
Okay,
because it is
so
still difficult to
The-
get
the-
people to,
the-
yeah.
And the issue
That's
with
true.
danger of that.
the issue with the
Oh, we understand
And-
that. Yeah, the danger of it.
Okay.
It's not a
so
good
I'll
thing.
stop. I'm trying to help you, Courtney,
Yeah.
believe it or not. So if you want to help, I'm more than happy to do it.
What do you mean by the help?
Getting into the conversation, so if you're having trouble trying to get somebody to give you a number on that,
I think that's everybody this direction.
Okay. Thank you, Gene.
give you, get a number on that.
I guess
it's probably, maybe we could have,
We're all set.
see if Adam can help us acquire some numbers or
I
something like
think
that.
Courtney's
I
already
already talked to Adam about that,
already
you know,
reached out to
before we
Adam.
reached out to people on the town side.
Okay.
And the other piece too, with the middle school, one of the issues we're having is, in addition, the current tank is 5,000 gallons, so obviously going to 10,000.
Yeah.
You're looking at, simple math, doubling it. And
Yeah.
then we'd be looking at some site work too, so
Yeah.
it wasn't just as straight as a
Yeah,
quote.
so this is the problem that we run into with capital all the time, right? As a general rule, if we don't, and I do it with Adam and other departments that come in, if it's going to cost you $2,751 for an item, that's not what you put in for capital. You need to put a little bit extra on it because you get difference in cost by the time it comes about, so you can ensure it gets done. Because if you're short by $1, you cannot get it, right? So you have to make sure that you have enough. So that's why I'm more than happy to help you. I can reach around and find some people that will give you a number on it too as well. This is actually what I'm involved in as a business, so if you want to help, I'm more than happy to do it. If you have an idea, the danger of just throwing a number on there without knowing it, you're not guaranteed to be able to get it done. We've done that with the fire alarm system in here. We started off at $28,000, ended up over $100,000. We still don't have it done, but we're getting there. Because there was other things that came in the middle.
It was initially quoted at 123.
Okay,
There's a quote for that.
yeah. Did you,
There's the whole thing with the site work, though, and the fact that.
Well, I mean, they came out,
It was
they
everything,
did see the
so,
site.
yeah,
And
yeah.
What it looks like is, I was there when they pulled the tank out of the ground. It was 28 feet long.
yeah,
And I think they knew they were putting the above ground tank in, and 5,000 fits in between the boiler room door and the shop door.
Yeah.
1,000 would be beyond both. And they didn't reconfigure the tank. They just
Right.
stuck it between the
Right.
doors.
The bigger issue is the primary school tank.
Yeah.
Would that same company be interested in giving you an updated?
They could probably update it with, probably based on.
If you, I'm trying to help you succeed in getting the project done, that's all I'm trying to do, so.
Back the site for part of it, that's what was
Well,
saying.
I mean,
yeah.
they did come out and look at the site.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we'd have to
yeah,
confirm
we'd have to
that's
do
on
that,
there.
yeah.
The other thing too is that tank is, I think, 18 or 19 years old. It's probably got a 20-year warranty on it, so it's still There's still a couple years left there.
Oil spills are very much on the top of our minds.
It's a double wall tank.
Because
it's
we're we're still suffering the effects of our own within this building.
Correct.
So,
And that's part of the reason why.
Yeah, right, why the primaries go as your
First.
priority, right.
It's assumed a single wall tank. I've been here 27 years, it's been the same tank for that amount of time. There's no monitoring system there, it's the old pressure pump. We actually stick it and measure it. But, so assumed a single wall tank, it was, we did a tank tightness test, I believe, in 21. It passed, but, and it was inspected inside too, so it
Yeah.
looked good, but again, it's a single wall tank.
yeah.
There is soil after that.
Yep.
So in terms of our projects for, you have a priority list for our capital. The two big things are the primary school roof, which has a life expectancy of about 20 years, and we are already at year 31, 32 on it. So we're, the same conversation.
I was up on that many.
Yeah, the conversation you have with the fire department with, things exceeding their life expectancy, the last thing you want to do is see the roof go and have to reallocate all the students and the staff in there. So we've had a couple of tests done. Courtney can speak a little bit to that, but at the end of the day, we all are homeowners. We know what happens to a roof when it's 10 years over its life expectancy, so we'd be looking for a new roof there. And then the other one, number 2 on our priority list is, we know that the roof is a big ask, is the oil tank at the primary school. That's 45 years old, if not older. I think the thing's going on about 11 lives, and even a cat only has 9, so we're 2 beyond
Right.
what happens. It's a single wall tank is what we're assuming, so the, you alluded to it, Chairman, about what happens when an oil tank goes and how
Correct.
that
Yep.
happens. We had an incident with one of our companies who came in and they started filling the tank in one of our schools, turned their backs for about 5 minutes, and we had 20 gallons spill, and we saw what, thankfully, they picked up the cost of that. So that tank at the primary school is a pretty major concern. So with that building being 45 years old, those are the 2 big ones. And then, we kind of chunked some other things. Numbers 3, 4, and 5 on the list really speak to a lot of stuff around pavement and recoding. So we kind of lumped those together with.
Well, not the recoding, because that's a whole different thing.
Sorry.
But the seal crack driveways and the repairs of the back access road.
Yep.
And what I didn't know if the town was doing any projects that had anything to do with paving, if maybe they could be lumped together, but that's,
Quick
get any
question.
efficiencies from that, I'm not sure.
On the roof project, it says waiting for estimates. Who's going to give you an estimate on that?
Yeah, we actually had, we have our roof reports on all 4 of our roofs that were done by Maya. A company did it for Maya, and we did have Greenwood come out and do infrared scanning, and they also then came back and did some more work, and then we was hoping to get an estimate by today, but it didn't come in by today. So I just did, that's why I said waiting for, I just put in a number, but that could be,
Yep.
way off.
But we have a copy of the
Yeah,
infrared report.
but it should be coming soon.
We have a copy of the
Yeah.
survey
Yeah.
that they did on all 4 roofs, and we have a copy of the infrared report, if you'd like to see it regarding the primary school roof and the
You know how
issues.
big that roof is?
Excuse me?
You know what the square footage of that roof is?
The infrared scan was 34,300 square feet. So they included, based on the report, they included the main roof, the gym roof, the cafeteria roof.
And all 3 roofs are the same age, Jeff?
The cafeteria roof went up when the high school went up, so
That's
that was an
That was
addition.
20 years ago.
2003.
Yeah.
Yeah. So based on their report on, this is the inspection report. It states the 31-year-old EPDM roofs have come to the end of their useful service life due to age and normal wear and tear. Based on the infrared scan, 60 square feet was found to be damp underneath the membrane. That translates to less than 0.2%, which is actually a sign that it's well-maintained. But the seams are deteriorating, they're starting to lift.
Yeah.
And the concern I have is if we have a heavy snow winter, water starts to melt and go in different directions, we could find a lot of other problems.
Yeah. We did have a replacement of part of that roof in 2017. So that's why there's two
Right.
sections there, yeah.
Yep.
So that section was,
Can you share that inspection report? Yep.
Yeah, I
I
brought you a
don't need it
copy.
right now, you can just email
Well,
it.
this is the inspection report. Well, I mean, I made a copy for you
Oh,
guys.
okay.
But it's 66 pages, so I didn't make
It's
a
a
ton of
light read.
copies.
Yeah.
So if you want to scan it, so then you can scan it and save a lot of paper and ink, if that's okay?
the other
Yeah, I'll ask Lisa to scan it in and we'll distribute it.
the other buildings are on there
Red
too.
report, too. Yeah.
So we've only red scanned the primary school. I believe we have to get on the elementary and middle school, I think we have to get approval from the membrane manufacturer before we do it.
That's the infrared scan report.
The middle school and the elementary school, you're scanning them just to scan them? Or is there an issue with them?
Recommended it in the report, in the inspection report.
Who?
Because of the age of the roof, and
No,
we
who
could
was that?
determine.
The Greenwood?
No,
The Maya report that we just
Okay.
gave you, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
People that came and did the roof surveys.
And as you can imagine, as everyone is concerned about, we were pretty lucky with a $2,500 deductible with anything. The deductible now obviously significantly went up, so anything we can do to not even have to go down that avenue.
Correct.
Is,
Yep. It's a concern for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
roof and oil tank.
Excuse me?
Roof and oil tank.
Roof and oil tank.
Well, I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
you listen to, we know capital's running at about 1.2, 1.5 million every year, somewhere in that ballpark. We heard, just fire department coming out, hey, we know we're one department of the town, we listen to everyone.
Yeah, fortunately, fire department, the
Has- they have able-
bulk of their reserves, their requests will come out of ambulance receipts,
Yeah.
which is good news to this
Yeah.
committee as well as
Yeah.
other departments. So it's not going to burden the budget that we have that much. I think they only have one thing on there
Yeah.
that was like $15,000. Well, no, two things, because we also have the tanker truck.
That was probably
And
more
that's
than
what we
15,000.
need to, excuse me?
That was probably more than 15,000.
Yeah, that was more than 15,000. That was in the neighborhood of $600,000. But as Chris had questioned as if it could last for another year or two, and the answer was yes on that, because we need to make a decision with the important areas of concern. And me personally, one of my strongest concerns would be the roof, because if the roof leaks, we got a big problem. You have a lot of asset underneath that roof. We just went through it with this building, just finishing up this project.
What's the easiest way, once we get the quote, again, it was supposed to be in this week, what's the easiest way to get that quote to this committee?
Well, you
Send it through
email it to Lisa.
Yeah,
Perfect. Just wanna-
Everything goes to
Lisa, yeah.
Lisa Freeman, and she'll distribute
yep,
it.
everything goes through her. Yep.
Because then she can distribute it to us. We just don't deliberate or ask any questions on there. If anything, it goes back to Lisa, and then she can figure out how to handle that.
Yep.
Just for the open meeting law portion,
I
of it,
understand.
we can't sit there and have conversations about it. So again, it's just a question, so nothing behind it. The 555 for the gym roof, was that just a guess?
So I did,
And that's why I was
I
asking
think
about-
I put at the bottom that I based it on, I'm going to be honest with
Yeah.
you, I had nothing else to go by. So
Yeah.
I did I hate to say this, a Google search.
No,
On
that-
estimated,
No, that's fine.
cost, and I added to it because, just for
And-
now,
and
but I
ju-
made it very clear, though, we were getting one. I just wanted, it's a placeholder.
And just to
That's
help
all.
you understand how I would rationalize it in my mind is, we just did this roof, so we know what roughly a square footage cost would be.
What was it?
I don't know, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I'll take the square footage of this and I'll look at that, and I can help Jeff with
I think
trying
we
to
be-
get his head around what numbers are.
I think we based it on $20 a
Thereabout.
square foot.
Yeah, but we should be getting the quote any
Yeah.
day. We actually expected it by
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
so maybe the next day or
Yeah.
two, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's a decision on product, right? We did the gymnasium roof over there. Since we're talking about roofs, I guess I can openly talk about this. It's not on our agenda. We did that gymnasium roof over there in 2017. That's an EDPM roof, which is what you have up at the primary school. That's a 20-year warranty. This roof we just did up here is a PVC roof and has a 30-year warranty. And the warranty between the two manufacturers are like night and day. The one with the lesser amount, it's not worth the paper it's written on. And hopefully the one that's the higher amount, as far as the life of the roof, proves to be worthwhile. So we'll find out. But a PVC roof would be a longer lasting roof than an EDPM roof. Plus, this one's white versus black, so you get the reflection, so you don't have the heat build up in the summertime. So there's different things to consider. So,
Yeah, I'll have to check with MSBA.
anybody have any questions for Paul, Courtney, or Jeff?
She just sort of hinted at my question, is MSBA, is there any reimbursement? I know when BBT was in here, they were
Yeah.
anticipating getting MSBA reimbursement. Is there any with this?
We would have to apply for an accelerated repair, you know. I mean, obviously, it's not a full building project, and I believe that comes out in January.
Okay.
Yeah, usually they come out in January. But again, if you don't mind me saying, you know, the whole entire school is 45 years old. So we're actually talking about possibly filing a statement of interest because everything is getting old. We're spending, I mean, everything, 45 years old. So we're taking care of a lot of things that are very old, so we're talking more towards a statement of interest as well. So, again, but we might not get anything for 10, there's
So
no way of knowing that.
I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah. Oh, no,
reading
I
the tea
know.
leaves.
Well, yeah.
We're all saying
the same. Yeah, we all know. Yeah.
You have a school that's 45
Yeah.
years old, you're going to invest $500,000 on a roof to last 30 years, that might outlive
Right.
the expectancy of the building itself.
Well, more if there's infrastructure on the roof that you have to crane off the roof.
Yeah.
And then crane the old infrastructure back up onto the roof, and then 2 years later, we're looking at replacing that infrastructure. We're looking, you know, I don't know if it's HVAC is on the roof, I don't know
Oh, yeah.
what's on the roof.
Well, and that's what happened to BBT, right? Yeah, their roof isn't $10 million. It's the cost of the roof plus all that equipment that they have up
Yeah.
there. And
Yep.
that's what drove it up to the number that they had.
But then the other
Like a
fear is that,
45
but then the
yeah,
other fear is it's 10 years past.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Damage the roof.
Right.
3 years from now, ripping a bunch of old infrastructure off of it and putting
Yeah.
new infrastructure
I know.
on top.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have more conversations on
No,
this.
it's a
Yeah.
balancing act.
The fire department and the school department were our biggest ask departments, so that's why I brought you in at the beginning. Because we don't have to make our decision for a little time. We're doing it a lot earlier than we typically do it, because
Yeah.
we're always rushed at the end and we're trying to make a decision, and it isn't necessarily the right way to do it. Spam call. There'll be more conversations that come out of
Absolutely.
this. I'm gonna try to help you and see what I can get for information. If you can reach out to that vendor and see if you can get some updated numbers on the oil tank. I'm as anxious to get rid of it as you three are. And I believe everybody at the table feels the same way, because
It's a third one.
downstairs was
Underground.
only 330 gallons that spilled, and that turned into
Million plus.
775 or so, $800,000.
That's great.
Which only 500 was covered by insurance. We maxed out of our coverage, so the town bore a lot of cost of that. So we want to prevent that from happening, obviously.
Yeah.
A couple other things, Courtney, Paul started talking about it, and then we skipped over it. The first three items, we have the crack sealing of the driveways, parking lots, a recoat and paint of the running track, and the repairs with extension and paving of the back access road. Could we talk a little bit about those?
Sure.
I'll cover the parking lot and the road access, Jeff. Those have been on there for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
So high school and primary school, the high school is really, if you go up the driveway, it's deteriorated quite a bit. I know some highway guys have been up there in the last from a year or so, doing a lot of patching. So that's kind of basically what's going on there. Same at the I think at the primary school, it's kind of some of the same issues, but there used to be an island that went right through the center of that parking lot, and then it was paved, that if you go up there, you see a big kind of oval patch. It's in the middle of it. And so we're looking at just sealing those cracks up at the same time.
Not any different than a lot of the roads we have here in town.
Yeah.
Right? Just, and then the track it's getting close to its life expectancy, just needs to be redone. And that gets a lot of usage from the community, from kids.
Their maintenance recommendations, right from when the project was finished, they recommended between year 4 and 7 that it be recoated. And then they came out and did an inspection on it and we made some repairs in 2021. At that time, they said between year 8 and 10, it should be recoated. We're now in year 11.
That was going to be my question. So the age is 11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we kind of started putting it on when to kind of think prospectively, to have it maybe funded by the time that time came up. But, I mean, we know it's difficult to have it right on
Yeah.
time, but,
Yeah.
you
The
know,
recommended recode is what? 7 to?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on the inspection report that they did, and these are the people that did the installation, they said between year 8 and 10.
8 and 10.
Yeah. And they also noted that there are, I don't know if it's rule changes that you call it, but the painting on the track isn't current, so probably certain markers for
Yep.
different sports.
The high school back access road, the width extension and paving. That's not paved now? Or
It is paved, it's 10 feet wide. The fire department, I think, they kind of do training around the back. It's actually, I would say, narrower than the wheelbase, so you can just break it off. Have been, especially on the southeast side, for quite a while. So we could go, it could be widened on the left. If you're driving around the left side of the building, it could be widened on the left. There's irrigation on the right, so that is really no room to widen it. Excuse me, on the right side.
Anybody have any questions on that stuff?
No?
We want to talk about the projectors. Douglas High School projectors, they're on the,
I believe those are the same, the ones from the initial school project, and they are still used, you know, in classrooms. They've been on for 10 years that we've had them on here, so
Yep.
we just kept them on, you know.
yep.
Again, same thing, just life expectancy. The
Yeah.
bulbs aren't as strong as they used to be. They're throw, so it's not like it's a smart board.
Yeah.
Just, we're replacing bulbs all the time, and there's newer technology, it's more efficient.
The cafeteria table, same thing, you know, just because of how long it's been since the high school was built.
Okay, I know I'm jumping around a little bit. I should give him one of these things so you understand why I'm jumping a little. Trying to follow all these pages. That was the goal of using Courtney's new and improved spreadsheet that.
So you have a special document you're referring to that we don't have?
Yeah. No, this
Do you
is-
have access?
This is the spreadsheet that we had, so you
Yeah.
have, this is fire, so you guys are on the next page, and it goes by fiscal year,
Yeah.
right? So here's, we have the oil tank at the primary school, and then in 28, you put the,
Middle
Yeah.
school, okay.
you put it on 28, so you can have that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we didn't. This is what we submitted. Yep.
So for FY '26, is this, if I'm reading this correctly, is this what you're proposing funding?
No, no, no,
no.
no. This is what, Courtney came in with that spreadsheet
Oh.
last year, and I asked if she'd mind if we used it.
Okay.
She shared it with us.
Gotcha.
So now,
Oh,
what I
there's-
did is I had,
Yeah, these are other things.
whatever submissions you put
Yeah.
in on yours.
Gotcha.
This is a master list that Lisa Freeman created for us.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a document, so you can have it. You're welcome to it. So I was just comparing this to that, is where as I started following this, I'm like, wait a minute, I thought the paper was longer, then I realized this was the one that you gave us.
I don't know what I have to look at it after, I didn't see that.
It looks like it's pretty, so you have, what's not on, you have it on here. You have a truck replacement, Jeff? You want to talk about that?
Sure. It's a 2010 F-350.
Yeah.
Probably has about 67,000 miles on it. Currently needs cab mounts. I guess you could consider it low mileage like a lot of probably town vehicles, but it's the age of the parts on it, they're old. So it's getting rusty. It's, it's been a very good vehicle, but
Is that one you use for plowing as well?
plowing, moving the grounds equipment, and furnishings,
Would the 64,000 include a new plow, or are you putting the old one on it?
I think we're going to use the old one, for sure.
Yeah, that was just a quote we got for the truck itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cafeteria tables at the high school?
Yeah, I think that those have actually about doubled in the last few years. It's gone up
Yeah,
so much.
So what year did you want that? You wanted that in '27. Okay, yeah, we don't need to worry about that right this minute, actually.
Yeah.
26 will be, you have one, it's on our master list, so that's consistent.
I see what you're doing. I figured out the master list.
You figured it out?
Figured out the master list,
Nice.
master plan, all right. Took me a few minutes, but I got it now.
Nice.
All right.
Anybody have any questions for Paul, Courtney, or Jeff?
When do you expect to have a follow-up meeting? Are we not that far?
We're not that far ahead yet. I have to wait for my my financial assistant to tell me what we have, if anything, left. Those numbers aren't out yet, so
Gotcha.
what we're doing is we're just trying to prioritize what's really important, so we have a stronger argument as to what we may need and may not. Go ahead, Shirley.
Jeff, you may have said this already, but on the truck replacement, how many miles did you say you had on it? Or did you?
It's about 67,000.
67,000, okay. And probably sitting there rusting, right?
Yeah, and you don't have any.
On a quiet day, you can hear any Ford rust.
It scratches the air when you drive it. Mr. Chairman, if you
Yes.
don't mind, I'm just going to run, I have to get on a call.
Yep.
For the committee's edification for the school department. The roof in this building, the lowest bid was $408,390. The area of this roof is roughly 8,400 square feet. Now, we use the PVC roof, but there's extras in there that need to be built in for the crane to move your air handlers and yada, yada, yada.
So how many square
You're
feet
going
is
to
the
be way
roof?
more than 5.
84.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be over, but I didn't know how much over, but yeah.
8,400?
So
A lot,
this is-
yeah.
Bob Barker would say you have
Yeah.
too big.
Yeah, okay.
We're well over a
Yeah,
million.
that's why I put on italics
That's
to make that,
$48 a square foot, Paul.
cover myself, you know what I
beat me to
mean?
it.
Yeah, but thanks.
Yeah.
Now, how much was
I
that
just
amount?
turned-
Yeah.
How much was that again? I'm sorry. Sorry, I
408,390 for 8,400.
The good thing is there's one air handler or one energy recovery unit, and then it's just exhaust
Yeah.
fans, so it's not.
Yeah, what we did on this roof is we went from about 2 inches of insulation to 10 inches of insulation.
Oh, geez.
Does that include
We-
the crane? too?
Yeah, that was all in.
Yeah, okay.
Everything, but then they
All right.
had to redo the gas line that was up there, repoint the chimney that was up there, get rid of a couple openings, put a new hatch up on there, extend all the plumbing pipes.
Yeah.
There was a little bit involved, but you'll have things involved in your roof as
Yeah,
well.
disposal-
And it's going to be different, it's going to be different.
35,000
Yeah.
square foot roof is going to be
Yeah.
more expensive
Yeah.
than 84.
Yeah,
And this
and
is-
also the components on
This is
top
a
of the roof.
condensed roof, so
too.
your square footage cost should be less on a larger roof.
Hey, listen, I was wicked good at math.
Yeah.
Well, depending on how many units and stuff you have on your roof that you're talking about, Matt, like how complicated are the
Right.
HVAC
Yeah,
and
that's
things?
Well, what it
five
wasn't,
major
You know?
corporations.
everything is
Yeah.
in one little tiny spot, so it was very difficult to work around.
Yeah.
Which made it more challenging.
All right,
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. All right, see you guys.
yeah.
But you're probably 50 to 100% more than what you have in your budget for that particular roof, I would guess.
I guess it
Well,
will.
based off of that,
Yeah.
correct.
And we'll have, like I said, we'll get
We
that
had-
estimate.
So to give you, and this is a good example, okay? So that roof cost us $408,000 to do, but we had put $480,000 into our budget for the capital budget, right? Because the money will just come back to free cash, but we had to make sure that we got it done. There was only two bidders that were $500 apiece. The other bidders were very close to that 480. So it's a difficult thing to try to get a good number out of it. It's something that because we have Weston and Sampson as our house doctors, we could probably seek some assistance from them to get a number. That's something you talk to Matt Wojcik about, and I'm sure he can arrange to get you some help on that. They just went through this project with us to get good numbers on this.
Sounds good.
Anybody else
That
have
was,
anything?
that was for a 30-year warranty, correct?
This is a 30-year warranty because we chose to go with a PVC roof,
PVC.
which is a much better roof. Even if we spent a few more pennies, we gained 50% of the warranty. An example, that EDPM roof that we over there, we've already had 2 leaks in it, and it was put down in 2017.
Where's,
The gymnasium roof,
oh, okay.
Yep.
I know where you were, okay.
dealing with an issue with it right now, which we'll get through it. But the EDPM roof, I know what that roof's like. I went up there with Jeff a few years back. All the seams were lifting up, and there was a lot of different issues with it. It needs to be replaced. Yep. One thing I'm surprised you don't have on there is reglazing your windows. Last time I was there, they were
Actually,
all,
they were on, and then they were taken off, and the survey was put on. So the old section is,
the windows are pretty fogged up.
yeah, the main, so the main hall for in front of the building, and then same, basically the same in the back. The
Right.
section that goes out towards the playground was 1988, and then, which they're all clear around the cafeteria, and that
Yeah.
hallway on the handicap entrance side is 2003. And those, not the same issue, it's really
Right.
that really old section.
Even if we did a few at a time, like the lobby down here, that was on our capital list before, and Adam had it on at 110,000. So then what I did is I just walked down with him. I said, let's go take a look at it. And I looked at it first before I asked him to do it. And then I asked him, I said, what's wrong with the frames of these windows? He's like, nothing, they're in good shape. I said, exactly, because you can just reglaze them. You don't have to change out the window itself if everything else is in good shape. So that went from 110 down to 30. We haven't done it yet. It keeps getting bounced on me, because it's too far down the end of the building and nobody pays attention to it until there's an event or something.
Well, I think the frames are in good shape. The mechanical part of the window,
Yeah.
I think the bushings are shot. I've actually been outside with one, I think somebody closed one, and because the bushings are shot, it doesn't close evenly. and it-
Yeah.
It shattered
Yeah,
the
45
glass.
years old.
Yeah.
So as a courtesy,
Yeah.
Area Glass, he's also a town resident, but the company Area Glass came and looked at that as a courtesy and gave Adam his numbers. It might be somebody you could reach out to that, just to look at it to see. He might say, no, you don't want to fix these, or yes, you can fix them, right? So it would just help you get to that point, that's all.
Okay.
Area Glass, they're out of Milford. I'll give you Joe's cell phone number, which is 508,
Do you want to do that on camera?
I don't care,
Okay.
508
Yeah. Yeah.
509-2732.
Joe.
Nice guy, and I'm sure he'd be happy to come over and at least educate you as to what you could and cannot do. And like I said, he's also a town resident, so he's got a vested interest to try to help us, so. Anybody else have anything for?
Again, thanks for coming in.
These guys?
Laurel, Thanks, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
With not, I'm sure we'll be in touch with something. I'll poke around with that, Courtney, and see what I can help you with, trying to come up with some help with the tanks and stuff like that. Jeff, if you can check around with that and see if they'll bring that number up, the current levels. I just want to make sure that you have enough to do it if we put it on there, that's all.
I would think they could probably.
And I made a promise to Courtney that I would help fight for the tank, so I
Thank you
will
for
do
that.
I have just a quick question.
Yes.
You okay staying with a 5,000 gallon tank?
No, that's what the.
Oh, no, that's the middle school one.
Okay. Oh,
The,
it's
the
middle
primary school is a 10,000,
Okay,
yeah.
all
Stick with 10.
But underground,
I just wanted to get it in
Yeah.
my head.
yeah.
And that was actually, I think, the first one was back in '05. The generator had a 5-gallon holding tank or 10-gallon holding tank. The float stuck and it pumped 900 gallons out. to the parking lot.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
They took it out.
Yeah, the problem that they have is through their bidding process, they have to get full loads, and they treat each school as a separate location. It's not like they can go and put half here and put half over here. So that's why they're trying to get a larger tank.
And then when 2020 hit,
Yeah, when, you know,
they weren't delivering half. Yeah, they were looking at volume.
yeah. And again, with the shortage of money, and we have been trying to, as you can see, we're taking a lot of stuff off, and we took a bunch of things off that were still on there, that we'll be funding this year or into the summertime. But there's only so much funding as well, so if we can remove things off, that gives, and again, I didn't want to spend money, that, you know, if it wasn't, because the whole town has a lot of big priorities.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
so it's a, you know, difficult situation.
Yep.
And there are many times that numbers change all the time.
Absolutely.
From by the time you
Yep.
start a process. So we just pay the difference from the school.
Right.
You know, when we've had that, I don't think any project has come in.
I'm sure what you.
You know,
quote at the
right on,
beginning
you
and
know,
what you
yeah.
Pay at the end of two different things, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that can work
Yeah.
over there. I know somebody won't let me do that if we only have so much appropriated for something, that's all you
Well,
get.
Yeah.
It's, the town doesn't have access to a school choice fund either.
Right,
So,
right.
Yes,
Yep.
it's just different.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do want to thank you for your spreadsheet, because in my opinion, it's working out very well. It's helping us organize the whole list to keep it going, so I appreciate your input on that. Might be simple in your world, but it wasn't simple for us. We're always walking around with
Nothing
stacks of
simple.
papers. Now I'm reduced down to one little sheet.
Nothing simple for anybody, right?
Yep.
Especially these days.
Thank you for your time. Thank
No, I
you,
appreciate you coming in. Like I said, you guys in fire were the two biggest challenges currently. So I wanted to make sure that we address both your concerns up front, because afterwards, there is no wiggle room after you're done, right? So, anyways, thank you
Yeah.
for coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, I went and toured BBT yesterday. That was pretty cool.
Oh, was it your
I
first time
spent
over there?
2 hours there. I walked all around through the whole thing.
With Dr. Mike?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, it's,
Yep.
I mean, it's a nice facility.
Messed with everybody because I had the same name tag with the same.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Did he have the sign? Dr. Fitzpatrick welcomes Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Yeah. Have a good day. Okay, real quick, you'll see there's another spreadsheet that got sent out. I asked for the last 2 years of maintenance on that roof, so we could see what was going on. There was only one insurance claim. This is just progression payments that you'll see. There's, according to this, you look at it, there's like 5 claims, but it's actually only one. It's just progression payments.
Okay.
But they're spending some money on it, right?
Yep. And that's the primary?
This is the primary school roof, yeah. That, and it says it right at the top. I wanted that so we could see it, right?
Yep.
Because I know there's an issue with the roof, but it doesn't matter what I know, everybody else needs to understand what's going on with that roof. With that, we got our minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look at them? Why don't we do that March 19th one first? Because we had held that. We had asked that special town meeting, November 2024, be added to number 1. And then in the second sentence, this special got changed to STM, which is acronym for a special town meeting. Under number 2, a new sentence, capital plan for fiscal year '25. So that got added, the capital plan for fiscal year '25 to identify the things that were underneath it. If everybody else is happy with that, I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing as none, all in favor?
Aye.
They passed. Why don't we do September 12th? Is there any suggested edits for that?
Give me a couple minutes.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. You bailed us out. We're floundering. Gonna be a nice day tomorrow. I'm gonna be in Atlanta, Georgia
Trick-or-treating.
In Atlanta?
tonight. Huh?
What are you doing there? Anything good?
Big building convention.
Mercedes-Benz.
Huh?
Mercedes-Benz Center.
I don't know which center I'm going to. I have it. It's on 285 something or other street.
It's just going to drop out of the sky, you know? I move we approve the Capital Improvement Committee meeting minutes of September 12th, 2024 as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing as none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, if we could do the September 19th, 2024 meeting minutes, please. Georgia World Congress Center. good with those?
The date again you're asking for?
September 19th.
19th.
I thought we did.
Yeah, that was the
We
March
didn't,
ones.
we didn't do them. We did March and September 12th. We're doing the September 19th.
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
You good, Shirley?
Yeah.
All right. Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing as none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I think, just based on what we're told, I'm going to help them try to, help the school try to get some numbers on that, so we can make sure it's a success.
Around $50 square foot, that's entirely.
No, I understand that, so, but also, and I'm gonna look through this stuff, I'll have Lisa scan it in, but there's 3 different roofs. And if I understood them correctly, 2 of them were done with the school, so that, one, I think the main portion of the roof is 30 years old, and the other 2 are 20 years old. So it's possible that we could split it between years to do it. Ideally, you like to do them all at once, but if we can't afford to do it, we need to consider the age of that primary school roof. That was a problem before, and I went up there and then they redid the seams on it. They were all lifting back then. That I would think I was on building and facilities at the time when I did that, and I haven't been on building and facilities in 5 years. So I'm not surprised that it came. I'm surprised that we didn't see it sooner, actually.
Just have to go through building facility before we go through.
Good question. What do you think, Mr. Chairman?
Well, it's over $50,000, so you have to, right?
So I'm going to take a shot at this. I don't think so, right? No, listen to me for a minute.
Yeah,
right?
go ahead.
I think, because this is, the building and facilities, I'm a little familiar with it, right? So we approve it, but then it has to go to building and facilities for designer selection and things like that. I believe that's how it needs to work. And we'll confirm, we'll confirm
The
it.
other way, you had to go to building before they came.
Because that,
That was the approved.
it's a good question. We'll get clarification
I
on
don't,
that. This is a protection of the property. It's a little different than improving a property, I guess, is where my head is confused with it. So we'll have to get clarification on that. And this is something that, if this is something that they need, it's a good time to bring it up, and I'm glad we're doing it early, because they can go on to building and facilities, and then they can pass out all this information and then get it to us. Maybe that's a better process, that we make a recommendation as a group to send it over to building and facilities, but I would want to put that on the next agenda. We're not going to do it now because we don't have it listed.
Yeah.
But maybe we should consider that. Why don't we, let's see, we have, why don't we get through the month of November? And the reason why I'm saying that is we got too many meetings. We have all these different things that are
Yeah.
going on in November, but if everybody's available the first week of December, I'll have Lisa Freeman send out an email to everybody and see if the availability first week of December, and then we put on that agenda a discussion about this primary roof. Maybe by then they'll have more information on their estimate and things like that, and we can refer it back to the Building and Facilities Committee meeting, so then they can, we're not sitting there trying to do someone else's job. We follow the rules. That was a good point that you brought up.
Can we at least hear from Highway at that meeting too, if we get Adam available?
What's
Can
that?
we bring Adam in to hear from him? He's available at that meeting?
Yep.
Because that's, we'll pretty much read the rest of the 2026 request.
Right.
And it's the library.
So, discussion. On Douglas Primary School roof. About referring to Building and Facilities. BFCC. And then number 2, we'll bring in Highway. Let's just look at our list here. So we have Highway.
I think it's big things
We
with paving.
have, we should bring the library in too. We have them on there about this exterior masonry restoration.
Well, didn't we instruct Matt to refer them to Building and Facilities
Yep. So
before they came to us?
right. Did you get anything from that? From to your committee about the masonry ceiling and repointing?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
We had the library on, but
It's
it's
for
because
accessibility.
it
Accessibility.
was for a,
Accessibility?
what could the
Oh,
house
Sampson.
doctor
Yeah, Weston Sampson.
do to help the library get into the guidance for,
Or a quote for a quote.
yeah, looking at some of their previous quotes regarding making it accessible. And right now, it's gone back to the library
Oh, all right.
because,
For their input as to what they
well,
would like.
Weston and Sampson did not, because I don't believe, I think you've talked to Matt, but.
Well, yeah, Justin actually did yesterday, so that's.
So we haven't got any information that you have talked about with him.
Right. And we didn't have an official meeting yesterday because we only had 4 people there, but we talked.
So again, you're going to have to get more official.
So I'm going to add to Highway, we're going to bring, and Adam can talk about buildings too. He has the lobby windows, which we actually just talked about it quickly, and the demo of 19 Main Street. Right. So we'll bring him, when he comes in for Highway, he can talk about those as well.
Okay. At the next meeting for this,
For the next meeting,
first week in December,
yeah, first week of December.
first week, okay.
Yeah, Lisa's going to send out
Yep,
a request to everybody for that. So we're going to have a discussion about referring the roof, and then we'll have Highway and Building.
no, we have a town meeting end of November.
So we have, voting is on the 5th.
November 5th.
The next selectmen's meeting's on the 12th.
Yeah.
Town meeting is on the 18th. That's why I was looking at it, I'm thinking in my head all these meetings, I'm like, we're gonna go the first week of,
Classification here.
what's that?
Classification here.
Yeah. The tax classification, yeah. So, it's a busy month.
So the 27th of, because Evan keeps on saying, oh, they don't have it yet, they don't have it yet.
I think these were posted, but we had penciled in the 27th of November. Is that
Okay.
after meeting, after town meeting, before the 1st of December?
Yeah, because our two meetings are on the 12th and the 27th.
So the 27th of November is town?
No,
18th.
18th is town meeting.
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to know.
I'll just tell him that.
It's always on
What's on the second? So it must
What,
be,
the special town meeting?
is it the 27th or 26th?
Maybe it's the 26th.
Might be the 26th. We meet on Tuesday, so it'll probably be the 12th and the 26th for the selectmen's meeting, the 18th for town meeting, and obviously voting is on the 5th. Unless you get there ahead of time.
Already did that.
I have a calendar just like that. It's from Bex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just write everything I eat, every dinner I make, which is all of them.
Yeah, I'm just making, that's what I was just thinking, to make sure there was nothing else. That's why I was just looking at this. I didn't fall asleep. So if nobody has anything else that they would like to discuss, then I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. And I would take that as a motion to adjourn and a second. And any further discussion? I see it none, so we are adjourning. Vote to adjourn at 3:27. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.